Students Conference, and obviously, this will be a lifelong memory with you guys. Where should I start? Imagine a cleaner at your university or college. Your current international students officer used to be a cleaner at Middlesex University while I was studying. Yeah. So, the journey from being a part-time cleaner, full-time student, and doing all this with you, this is marvelous. Thank you very much. I have to thank just you and nobody else. I have to thank friends, supporters, fellow sabbatical officers at Middlesex Students Union, where I was the president in the year 2012-2013. Especially my token white brother, Ed Marsh, who has been always there to encourage me, even to run in this international students office election. He was always there. There were countless times I went and met him, and he encouraged me. Would you Joyce? He's not here. I had in my school days, I had heard this phrase. I don't remember which English poet it was, but it said, "A thing of beauty is joy forever." And for International Students Campaign, guys, C is a thing of beauty. All these things you have seen me doing, the committee doing, C has been a pillar behind it. And thank you very much, Joy. And I think C is really passionate. It's one of the most hardworking people I've ever seen. I sometimes get her emails at 1 a.m. in the night, and I say, Joy, you should sleep as well. But yeah, you should have that habit of sleeping as well sometimes. And I think it's very important why International Students Campaign should be led by international student officers, yes, but even staffed by foreigners, yes. Because I can see the passion, because perhaps I think because she's from Canada, she's very passionate, and and I really respect her. I have to thank Dan Stevens as well. He did really good work for our campaign. He set the tone for the campaign from where I could take it. Further, this year has been very, very challenging and inspiring at the same time. International Students Officer position is much, much more about than just going and visiting students' unions, guys. Please do remember that. I'm not saying it I'm saying it because I've been in the room, but still. It's about real students losing thousands of pounds en masse. You have to see it, you have to hear it, you have to see some of them being deported, and sometimes you feel so helpless. You can't do anything. Yes, you can run, sometimes you feel really, really helpless, and I was really frustrated sometimes. Rita, who came yesterday at our conference, she couldn't go back to Nigeria when her father had died for funeral because of immigration system. Because if she had gone back, she would not have been welcomed back to the country. She would not have been let in. Can you imagine the atrocities that this immigration system puts on human lives? This is really sad. And International Students Officer has to go through these human stories every day. I get hundreds of emails, messages, phone calls about these issues. And also it's also being, it's also International Students Officer is also about being scapegoated for things which we never knew about as international students. I'm sure when you came to the country, you never thought you read headlines in newspapers, scapegoating you. But as the officer, I still have to carry the struggle, put on a brave face, and march on. This year, I've tried my best to change the face of International Students Campaign to a campaign, to a visible campaign, where people can see we're doing things, where international students' issues are no longer invisible, where it's talked about in Parliament, where it's talked about in streets, protests, and general election asks have been quite good this year. Last year, I'd seen that International Students Campaign and Black Students Campaign were not really working together, and it always surprised me because we are actual immigrants, international students, and black students normally who are here, home students, are children and grandchildren of immigrants. So I always wondered why these two campaigns are not working together. Because if anybody could understand us in the movement as international students, our black students campaign, they can see it because most of them came here, most of their parents and grandparents came here as immigrants. We face similar oppressions. We face racism and xenophobia. So this year I made a deliberate attempt to work together with Black Students Campaign. It's very deliberate. And all of the decisions that I made in NEC, National Executive Council, or any other decision is nothing for anything else than just for International Students Campaign. Everything has been for International Students Campaign. The alliances I have made, the alliances that I have broken, it's always for International Students Campaign, and I'm proud of that. There are a few things I wanted to say. So radicalism in students' movement. So when we talk about we should not have net migration target at all, when we talk about there should not be borders, there should be free movement. I think we're doing a good job about it. We should feel proud about it. Because if not us, then who? Who will talk about these issues? Who will talk about the the benefits of free movement? Who will talk about the benefits of not having net migration target at all? Yeah. What we are doing is, so in student movement, we do not need to have the balanced approach. You know why? Because we are actually balancing the ideas in mainstream society. Mainstream society never talks about free movement, does it? Mainstream society never talks about getting rid of net migration target, does it? It doesn't. So, we are actually by our radical ideas, we are putting forward our, the balance back in the table in mainstream society. So we should be proud of it, and but obviously we should also know when we are being radical and when not. Being radical doesn't mean we never go to parliament. We should go there. For the campaign, whenever it's important for the campaign, let's do it. Let's be opportunistic, but for the campaign and nothing else. Not for personal reasons, but for the campaign. I'm shamelessly opportunistic for the campaign, shamelessly opportunistic for the campaign, and I don't mind about it. The other thing is, as a person, when I started it from July last year, the sector organizations didn't really care about me in the beginning, because this is just like 22-year-old guy, just got elected, what does he know? They didn't really talk to me, so I felt really let down at that time, because I was like, I've been elected by these people, I'm representing 600,000 students. Why am I not being given proper consultation? Why are they not talking to me? But over the time, I think I've got that, trust from the sector now. Now, obviously, they do talk to me. They have no other option. But in the beginning, it was quite difficult. So I'm sharing these experiences because you should also know what it's like to be an officer. So yes, it looks glamorous, but sometimes it's not. And I couldn't even tell this to others, because others look at me and say, "Well, Sreya will be able to do something." And yes, I am doing something. I was doing something, but I couldn't possibly say what was happening inside my own job role, or what I was feeling, because leaders are supposed to be perfect, but no, leaders are human beings as well. The other thing is, though this is a leaving speech, guys, I still have solid 3-4 months left. So I just wanted to say two things. Obviously, we'll focus on general election campaign. That's all right. I've consistently talked about it. But the other important aspect is raising our voice in the students' movement as well, right? So the national conference is coming in. As far as possible, many international students should come there as delegates. We should talk about our issues there. Yeah. This crowd should not just be limited just as international students campaign. We should go to the national conference, talk about our issues, ask questions there. This is my request, solemn announcement to VP candidates and presidential candidates as well. Please include our issues as well. We are, we are a critical mass in the movement. If you want our vote, talk about our issues, talk about xenophobia, talk about post-study work, visa, talk about these issues. Our votes will not be coming to you on a free plate. You should be talking about our issues in the mainstream students movement. Mustafa, Mustafa, don't worry, Mustafa. This is actually a song. Right? This is actually a song, a Tamil song. So I'm so proud of you, brother. It's really, I mean, thanks to all of you for voting him. I really hope that he will be a good officer. I have, trusted him, and I'm really proud that you won it. Um, and I really hope that you'll continue this tradition that we have created this year, working together with Black Students Campaign. I'm sure you'll do it. Working together with grassroots organization as well as those on the top, and like I said, let's be opportunistic for the campaign. Wherever we will get opportunity, we should take it, whether it's in parliament or in the streets. For a good cause, any tactic is alright. Yeah. But saying that, Rosa and Edna, you have been really inspirational candidates, and well. As I wrote on my Facebook post as well earlier, I don't know if some of you might have seen it. No matter who would have won, I had thought the students, this international students campaign will be in safe hands. So I was not obviously I was very close with Mustafa and I trusted him with all the work he had done. But in the corner of my heart, I knew that the students campaign, our campaign, will be in safe hands. Whether whoever won. So yeah. I know Rosa and you will go on to do great work in your own field later. Thanks a lot for your contribution to the movement. And the other thing I wanted to say was, this is not just about Mustafa, but to all of us, and especially to Mustafa as well. In NUS, if anybody tells you what not to do or what can't be done, just look at Black Students Campaign and see what they're doing. Anything can be done. Yeah, we are an independent campaign. We're an autonomous campaign. From last year's motion, we're autonomous. So what we decide as committee, what we decide as campaign, what you decide as officer, is the autonomous decision. It's been a long journey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Song says, "मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया." So whatever will happen in life, actually, I'll go with it. So thank you very much. It's been a great journey. Thank you very much.